Hello you guys. This video is going to be really hard for me to make because I don't like talking about this stuff. I don't like talking about my personal encounters anymore because it freaks me out. It was a very bad time, but sometimes I have to bring it up just to warn people again that they need to come to God and realize this stuff is real, okay, and it's really freaky, and hell is real and all that stuff. Okay, I talk about hell a lot in my videos because that place I believe I went there. I experienced hell. Okay, I have my older videos, I talk about my hell testimonies. This is another testimony. Just to reiterate, if you haven't seen any of my older videos, I had a near-death experience, okay? I was just a regular person, basically, but then I became very, depressed, okay, and I had never experienced supernatural stuff at all before that, okay, but when I became very depressed, I was started already to experience supernatural stuff, okay, and then after I died, it got really bad, alright, I wanted to delete myself, I wanted to end my life, okay, and even before my near-death experience, I was experiencing some supernatural stuff, but after my near-death experience, okay, I had an OD. I OD'd myself on purpose, kind of. I was very, very not wanting to live. Okay. Anyway, I died for a while. Okay, and I believe I had experienced hell. Okay, but it was very weird because I didn't remember it all until later. Okay, it was a very strange experience. But afterwards, after my near-death experience, I was experiencing so many supernatural stuff. Like, it was bad. Like, supernatural stuff to the extreme. Okay? I was experiencing poltergeist activity. I was seeing spirits. I was experiencing mega extreme supernatural things for many years. Okay? It wasn't just for like a week or two. It happened for a long time. And one thing, it would shift and change. Okay? But one of the things I want to talk about is this ectoplasm. Okay, one of the things I was experiencing was this ectoplasm, and that's why I'm bringing this ectoplasm video up right now, okay? I have so many supernatural stories, and I was experiencing supernatural stuff for like 6 years, okay? Very supernatural, weird stuff. I mean, I have so many supernatural stories. People, even the most supernatural person probably would not even believe me, okay? I don't bring it up because I just need people to come to Jesus, and I don't need people to believe me necessarily about my supernatural stories. So I kind of like don't fight with people with that. If you don't want to believe me, fine, don't believe me, but you need to come to Jesus anyway, right? That's the main, my goal here. My goal here is not to convince you of my supernatural stories. My goal is to bring you to Jesus. That's why my videos kind of changed over time. I started talking about my testimony, and then I was just like, I'm just going to preach a Bible and talk about Jesus, because that stuff makes me nervous anyway. I don't like talking about it. But so it finally came up. Okay, it finally came up. So I want to talk about ectoplasm, okay? I want to talk about ectoplasm because I was experiencing ectoplasm. I just realized until recently what that stuff is. I didn't know what was going on. Okay. Alright, I was experiencing ectoplasm. It wasn't like super crazy like this, but it was super crazy because it was really happening though. It was bad, okay. If you don't know what ectoplasm is, it's the substance that comes off of mediums. If you go type in ectoplasm, the thing you're gonna get is mediums, okay? Mediums and like witches, basically. They can make the substance come off of their body, okay? Sometimes it's like smoke, sometimes it's like strings, sometimes it's really wet, okay? It's like a wet, like white substance that can come off your body, okay? And I believe ectoplasm is very real because it was happening to me. Sometimes haunted houses, like really bad haunted houses, will have this wet substance that comes off the walls. It looks like the walls are weeping. Okay, that's probably ectoplasm. Okay, it's just a weird substance that comes from the other side. Sometimes it comes off of people, but sometimes it goes on stuff, like it's on your walls and stuff. And it's really weird stuff because it like disappears after a while. Okay, you can't save it. I was able to take pictures of it, but it disappears. And I am bringing this up because I was studying stuff about mediums and stuff, because I was talking about the Oracle Defy and stuff like that. And it finally came up, and I was like, oh man, yeah, I'm going to have to talk about my ectoplasm stuff, because that's probably what this stuff is. And when I show you these pictures, they can be easily explained away. I know that, okay? I know that this is, that's just webs, or it's, it's just like a little bit of dust here and there. It's just, but and I deleted most of my supernatural pictures because you couldn't see anything anyway. I tried so hard for a long time to get people to believe me, and so I was trying to take pictures of stuff, but they can just be easily explained away, and they're gonna be like, whatever, okay. So, and another thing about ectoplasm is that sometimes you can see faces and stuff in them. Like, you can see faces. It kind of reminds me of black matter a little bit. Okay, it really reminds me of black matter. Black matter is a substance that they studied at CERN, apparently. Okay, and you can see faces and stuff in it. It's demonic. It's evil. Okay, it's a substance that produces spirits. Okay, even in the CERN, I think, I don't remember which CERN video I have. Even in the CERN video, they took black matter. Black matter might be like an extreme version of ectoplasm, okay? It's like, it's described as liquid, even though it's not exactly liquid all the time, okay? But sometimes for me it was like webby stuff. It was liquid sometimes. It's just a weird substance that comes from the spirit world, okay? And sometimes you can see faces and stuff, and sometimes they take form and stuff like that. And alright, so I'll show you my pictures that I have, but I know that they can be explained away, okay? But these are the only supernatural pictures I saved, because you can actually see something, but of course people are just gonna be like, well, that's stupid, you just took some jelly or something. And I'm like, okay, you can believe me or not, but I'm gonna show them to you anyway. This is, it was like, sometimes it was like really gelatinous. It was really thick, and there would be forms coming out of there. You could see like bugs and stuff in them. It was weird. You could start seeing hands and stuff coming out. It was freaky, man. It was so freaky, and you could see faces in them. I couldn't get any pictures of faces on them, but it was literally all over my clothes. It was all over my shoes. This is a picture of them. This weird stuff was all over my shoes. Okay, it's like, and yes, it has sticks and stuff in it, but you can see that it's white stuff, right? This is white stuff. It was all over my shoes. It was all over my car. It looks like webs all the time. Sometimes it was really gelatinous. And so I'm just realizing until recently that's probably ectoplasm. I didn't know what the heck was going on at the time, but since I was studying all this medium stuff, I'm finally connecting the dots. That's probably what this stuff was, okay? And it was so weird because I knew it must have been coming from me, because it's on all of my stuff, but it has to be coming from me. And it's so weird because that's exactly what these mediums said they were doing. They said they can produce the stuff that comes off their body, though, but it goes everywhere. It's very not good, though, okay? I'm not promoting you do any of this stuff. It was terrible. I didn't know what was going on, and it's so weird because you can feel it. It feels electric. Okay, you're not supposed to touch it. Don't mess with that stuff. Okay, I'm bringing this up because I believe it's very real. Though. It was all over my shoes. It was all over my car. It was all over my clothes. It was all over my apartment. Okay, I don't know what the stuff was, and whenever I tried to clean it up, it would disappear, or then it would reappear again. Oh, and it gets even worse. It started happening to people around me. Like, they started experiencing supernatural stuff because of me. Like, they were experiencing this stuff. They are like, there's this weird stuff all over the house. I don't know what it is. It will not wash off. It will not go away. And this is probably the two freakiest versions, okay? This one's pretty freaky because it looks like a worm or something. As they started looking like worms and they would move, it was bad. Bad, demonic, okay? Alright, and so these mediums were obviously doing witchcraft, and I wasn't knowingly trying to bring this stuff up because it had to have been because my near-death experience, and because it was demonic, it was evil. It's like black matter weirdness. I don't know what else. It's called ectoplasm. Okay. Anyway, and then it started happening everywhere else. These are the two most freakiest ones. Oh my god, this stuff was so weird because it would collect itself and try to take form. I am not kidding. I have two pictures. There's this, and no, it just looks like a ball on the ground. But this stuff, it was collecting everything from the ground, and it started turning into like a rat or something like that. It started turning into a rat. These things take form, just like in the mediums. If you let it sit for a long time, you'll start seeing faces in it. This thing started looking like a rat or something. It's this white stuff started looking like a mouse or something. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but I'm just telling you the truth. from far away it looks like a mouse or something, but even if you look really closely, you can see this thing started having eyes, a nose, and ears, or maybe even horns. Okay, this thing literally started manifesting in front of our eyes. Okay, and the people I were with, I brought my friends over, my regular friends. They didn't believe me. They're like, this is not happening. You're just tripping, man. You're just tripping, okay? And I'm like, look at this, man. Look at this. What is this? And they were so scared. They didn't say nothing. They were just silent. And they're like, you just did that. I was like, how in the world? They were like in denial that this was happening because it was so supernatural and so horrifying. I was like, I did not do it. I was standing on the other side of the room on purpose, so I wasn't doing anything weird. What am I doing? Like, supernaturally making it into a ball myself? No. Okay? This thing is so scary. You can see that it started having eyes, and that looks like horns, and it was using my hair. That's my hair it was taking from the ground, and it was started manifesting itself. It was terrifying. Oh, man. And probably the freakiest one ever was this thing. This thing, it looks like a worm or something, right? It came out of my friend's hand. It came out of my friend's hand, man. We were freaking out. He said his hand literally just opened up and it closed again, and this worm wet thing just came out. And this is a picture of that. And I know that sounds crazy and that sounds weird, but it just reminds me of these mediums. They said they can make this stuff come out of their bodies. And it was super demonic and evil. That's all I'm saying, okay? I'm not promoting you do this at all. I'm just saying, even if some of these mediums were faking it, we were not faking it. I promise you. I didn't even know what this stuff was until recently. It's probably ectoplasm. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm just warning you, these pictures are 7 years old. They're old. This happened to me a long time ago. I'm fine now. I've come to Christ. I'm a very happy person. I'm fine, okay? This happened a long time ago, like 7 years ago, okay? Even if, just like that picture I showed you of the face, it was using my hair. It had hair on it. That was my hair, okay? But if you take a close look at this one, this also has my hair in it. This has this spiral thing. That's probably my hair, okay? And like I said, these things were using my body parts, my stuff, to manifest. Okay, that is exactly why when people do witchcraft and stuff like that, they need to sacrifice an animal or something, because there's power in the blood, there's power in the body. Okay, they need your flesh to manifest. Okay, I mean, there's actual real life power inside flesh and blood. Okay, and that is why Jesus had to give his body and his flesh and his blood, so you can manifest the Holy Spirit. Okay, you can say it like that. Okay, and it's also because you need that to go to the other side. Just like these evil spirits need my flesh to come to our side, you need the blood of Christ to go to heaven. Okay, you can use the same theology, but you gotta be careful, because I'm not promoting you do witchcraft or anything like that. Do not sacrifice. Jesus already did it for you. Okay, you can accept Christ and just do that. You're not supposed to do some weird witchcraft to sacrifice animals or something like that, because that is witchcraft. It works, it's real, but do not do it. Okay, all right. And that's probably what was happening in this paranormal picture. Okay, this is obviously demonic. You're not going to convince me that this is good. Okay, this kid must have a scrape or something on his forehead, and this thing is using his blood to manifest. You can see the red marks on the left of the spirit. Okay, it looked like, and please notice that this thing looks like him. It's trying to take his form, because that's how they work. Okay, this is why ghosts and stuff look like people, because they probably use some of their stuff to manifest. They'll look like you. They'll look like people because they used their body parts to manifest sometimes. Okay, you get how freaky that is? Yes, I know this is freaky, but it's serious. Okay. Oh, and I wanted to break one more thing. Sorry. There's this, that it would make things really wet too all the time. My body felt wet all the time. This is an example. This is my chair I was sitting in. You see how it's all wet looking? It was like that all the time, and the next minute it would be dry. And I know people are going to be all stupid. Oh, it was just wet, whatever. I'm like, whatever, man. Like I said, I'm not really necessarily trying to get you to believe my supernatural stuff. All I know is this: the only way I got this stuff to stop happening is when I came to Christ. Okay, I was experiencing this stuff for years. Okay, and it took me a really long time to figure out what was going on. Okay, I'm still figuring it out. All I know is you better come to Christ, and that's the only thing that made this stuff stop. Because I opened a door to something when I died. Okay, it was bad. And one more thing. One time this stuff came out of my mouth. It was so weird. It felt like silly string, and you can see it. I don't have pictures of that. Okay, it came out of my mouth, and it was like I had a big long hair in my mouth or something. Okay, but it was white. It had more like a jelly like white, like silly string. Okay, and it just kept coming out of my mouth, and I was freaking out because I could literally feel it going down my throat. And I kept pulling it out. And I didn't know what it was. I knew it was supernatural because it wasn't normal. I know I didn't swallow a big long string of hair. Okay. I thought it was a big worm or something. I was freaking out. And that's what this picture is. This guy claims to be taking this stuff out of his mouth and his throat. Okay. It's like string. Sometimes they call it like webs. Okay. Yeah. So I believe that stuff is real. And I know that sometimes people fake things, but I was not faking it at all. Okay, that stuff was really happening to me and to the people around me. And that's what really freaked me out because I thought maybe I'm just losing my mind. Maybe I'm just stepping in paint all the time or something. No, when it started happening every night, it just made it worse. It was just so horrifying. I was like living in a horror movie all the time. I didn't know what to do. All right, and this is another example of this stuff. Maybe this is the same substance. Not sure. Okay. There's like this house that bleeds in Atlanta. There's like this substance that keeps coming from the walls. They don't know what it is. That might be ectoplasm. Okay. There is this house, the Belmiz House of Faces. Okay. There's faces appearing on the wall, and they move over time. That's a creepy thing. They change. They're moving. Just like how I said those things that I was seeing, they were moving. Okay, they were moving around. They were taking shape and form and changing. It was freaky. It was terrifying. Okay, the Belmiz House of Faces is the same thing. That could be ectoplasm. Okay, and when they test it, they get all kinds of weird results. Like it's human blood maybe, or maybe it's just water. You know what I mean? The tests are inconclusive. Okay, and probably the most famous one of all, unsolved. My point is, they still have ectoplasm today, but they're just not calling it ectoplasm. Okay, because they think it's like they don't know what to call it. Okay, and I'm gonna use all this information to expose the Catholic Church in a minute. Okay, and probably the most famous case that has the best evidence is Unsolved Mysteries did an episode on this substance that fell from the sky. That's probably ectoplasm, and I'll talk about that. There's this gelatinous substance that kept falling from the sky several times, okay? And this woman, the Unsolved Mysteries actually did a whole story on this, okay? This is probably ectoplasm. They're just not calling it ectoplasm because they don't know what to call it. Okay, I don't realize this has been happening since the beginning of time. Okay, so this gelatinous substance was falling from the sky. Okay, and it was this wasn't good. Whatever the stuff was, it wasn't good. I'm gonna say that on purpose for a reason. You'll see why. The stuff wasn't good. Okay, this stuff was coming off my body, and I knew it wasn't good. Okay, I knew it was something bad was happening. It was miraculous, but it was bad. I knew it was bad because I just had common sense. Okay, this stuff was falling from the sky, and the weird thing is, it was making everyone very sick. Like, one woman even touched it, and she fell and became unconscious and had to go to the hospital. So, and it was not just her though. There are lots of people getting very sick. The animals got really sick. Okay, and this woman they actually sent some of this off to labs to see what the stuff was, because they were like, why is everyone getting sick? It must be from this gelatinous substance, right? And the really freaky thing is, it ended up being part human white blood cells. Okay, all right, and it was making people sick, and they are freaking out. And guess what happened to this stuff? It mysteriously all just disappeared. Even the stuff in the labs because the labs keep it frozen and they keep it cold so you can keep it forever, right? It mysteriously disappeared. Just like I told you it did. Just like those mediums said that. They said it would disappear after a while, it wouldn't be around. That is probably ectoplasm. Okay? And I am telling you, it's not good. The reason why I'm saying that is because this is probably the same substance that is coming off of these crying statues and stuff. You ever see these stories where these statues are crying in the Catholic Church? They're crying. That's probably ectoplasm. It's evil. Okay? It's not a miracle from God. It's evil. Just like when these mediums, they are like, oh, this is a miracle, it's amazing. Okay, I did not think it was amazing. I thought it was terrifying. That should be the proper response to this stuff. Not, oh, God sent me angel hair. Because this is the same stuff that Catholic Church calls angel hair. Ooh, I lied. This is probably the most famous. I lied. This Washington incident wasn't the best example of ectoplasm. It was the Portugal miracle of the sun. That was a very good example of ectoplasm. If you pay attention to the story, they said there was this white stuff that fell from the sky. Sound familiar? Was it good and holy? No. It was not good and holy. It was making everyone sick. Okay? And the Catholic Church, of course, said it's angel hair. It's angel hair from God. I'm like, hello? Are you telling me that these witches and mediums were coming from God and they're puking up hair and stuff? Okay? Because that was happening to me. And I'm telling you right now, I was being bothered by demons. That's why it was happening to me. Okay? I was not being super holy and nice. I was under demonic influence, okay? I was being bothered by the demonic realm. That's why I was experiencing angel hair, okay? That's why I was experiencing this stuff. I was under demonic attack. The miracle of the sun, these people were under demonic attack. It wasn't a miracle from God. And probably the best part is when they said that they said it rained, right? They said it rained and then the rain miraculously dried up. Like it dried up instantly. That is ectoplasm, you guys. It's evil. It's not rain from heaven. It's not angel hair from God. It's ectoplasm from hell. Okay? Nowhere in any of these stories, I don't know how you're looking at this and saying that this is good. Okay? Blood. Yes, blood coming from the walls. That must be a miracle from God. Blood coming out of eyeballs. That's just amazing. Okay? And it's the exact same thing. It's probably coming off of the stigmatas. Those miracles, they say they're miracles. Yeah, that's what those witches were doing. They were making that stuff coming off their body too. It was happening to me. Blood coming off of your body. Weird blood. Weird substance coming off your body. It's not stigmata from God. It's demonic. Okay? I will always use this stuff to expose the Catholic Church because I was raised Catholic and that's probably why all that stuff was happening to me. Alright? I was completely confused. Alright? The Catholic Church is terrible. All the stories are demonic. Okay, just connect the dots. And I'm going to go ahead and add in my own personal theory. What is this stuff? Where does it come from? It could be coming from another dimension. That's true. It could be coming from a kind of like ether from a different dimension, and that's why it doesn't exist very long in our realm. That's probably true. But when you test some of this stuff, sometimes it's human blood. It's made from humans, right? I have a theory, and it's really freaky because I'm just using my own personal experience. When I was seeing this stuff, I felt very sick all the time. I felt very weak. I felt terrible. I actually think this stuff was actually actual real stuff that demons were using from my body to take form. They were actually like sucking me dry. Okay, I actually think, because when they did a test on some of this stuff, it's white blood cells, it's blood, right? I actually think they were using the life out of my blood. They were using my actual blood and my actual energy to take form. Okay, because that's what demons do. They're vampires. They're parasites, right? They were using my actual body parts, and it was weird because they were like using my body parts and they were using it outside of my body, though. I know that sounds weird, okay? They were taking my blood, taking my white blood cells, and using it to take form outside of my body. That's what I think was happening, kinda. Which is really terrifying, because that's what it felt like it was happening, okay? It was awful. Okay, I think this blood is actually coming from actual people, because that's what demonic parasites do. They need the energy. They need the life out of your blood to take form. Especially if you're not protected by God, they're really going to be using it. Okay, which I was not at the time. I was not protected by God. I had no idea who God was. The only God I knew was the Catholic God, which is exactly what the problem was. Okay, and that's what I exactly think what happened in this situation. If you know the Emily Rose case, okay, she was raised Catholic. She was Catholic, and her family was Catholic, just like I was, okay? And the reason, and I was doing the same stuff, I was trying to use Catholic. When I eventually found out that these were demons, which took a very long time, okay? When I found out these were demons, I was using Catholic stuff to try to get rid of them. I was using rosaries, holy water. I got all my stuff blessed by a Catholic priest, and it made it worse, because they are into witchcraft. I mean that. And that must be shocking. It was really shocking to me to finally realize that. And I had to learn the real hard way. Okay? My story sounds very similar to this. You can even see the pictures. My story sounds a little bit familiar to this Exorcism of Emily Rose. No, I wasn't crawling all over the walls or anything like that. Okay? But even if you look at her real story, if you actually read her real story, she even said that they had hair and stuff coming out of her mouth. Okay? Because what? Because we were both under the influence of demons? Oh, yes. Okay? Oh, yeah. It was killing me. These things were literally sucking me dry. They literally suck you dry to manifest. And if you do a bunch of Catholic stuff, it's only going to make it worse. I really mean that. Do not go to a Catholic exorcism. Do not go to a Catholic exorcist. There are some real good ones, maybe, but the real good ones are going to constantly tell you that you have to actually change your life. Okay? It wasn't that I was fine before and then I became possessed. I was always evil. Even when I looked like this, I was still under the influence of the devil. That's the trick. Okay? Just because you look fine and seem fine doesn't mean you're not under the influence of the devil. Everyone is. Alright? A good exorcist will tell you that you have to come to Christ and you have to start reading the Bible. Okay? You don't just light some sage or throw some holy water on your stuff and go back to your regular life. That's the exact opposite of what God wants you to do. He wants you to come to Christ and start reading the Bible and live a holy life with God and Jesus. If you don't do that, you will always end up in hell, no matter if you're seeing demons or not. Okay? I always try to say that to people. You gotta stop drinking. You gotta obviously stop watching evil shows. You gotta stop watching. You have to stop. Alright? And I'm gonna bring up a few more things I want to bring up. I'm gonna go into the etymology of ectoplasm real fast. That's what ectoplasm means. If you go look up the etymology, it basically means to mold or shape things kind of like out of clay. And that's exactly what this is. Okay, it's shaping and molding a form out of clay. This is obviously not normal clay though, okay? And I wanted to bring up the black matter thing again. Okay? Even CERN, they had black matter. They were testing it. They took it to a lab somewhere else. Okay? And this black matter stuff, they started seeing ghosts everywhere, and they started seeing UFOs as well. This stuff is associated with UFO stuff. If you go into the UFO side of it, you're gonna see these people have this weird white substance all over their stuff sometimes, okay? Alright, it's still demonic. It's associated with ghosts and demons and UFOs, okay? And witches, okay? Alright? And I wanted to bring up the black matter thing. The black matter, and what did I say in this video? I said this thing was like using all of my hair. It was using all of my stuff, like maybe a little of my blood, some of my hair, and it was gathering it all together and trying to manifest. And that's so weird because that's what black matter is. If you go look up what black matter is, it's a binding force of energy. It binds things together, it collects everything and puts it together. Okay? That's why God is always talking about cutting off the cords of the wicked. It's talking about black matter. It's talking about this weird substance. It's not saying ectoplasm, or it's not saying black matter in the Bible, but these Bible passages are talking about this stuff, especially when it talks about yoke. Okay, let's read this Bible passage right here. Isn't this the fast that I have chosen? To break the chains of wickedness, to untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressive free, and tear off every yoke. Why is it talking about yoke? It is talking about this stuff. Because what do eggs do? Like yolk and eggs? God will use some normal things to explain supernatural things, okay? Like when you make a cake, you have to put eggs in it because it's a binding. It binds things together. That's why it's referring to these cords and bands as yoke in the evil way, because that's what they do. They bind things together and they try to take form, okay? And it's so crazy because in this video I just made about, it was about hair, right? I talked about how in the ancient world, and you can see pictures of it, they said that evil spirits would use your hair, right? And I just showed you that. That is so crazy. I'm just connecting those dots now because I haven't looked at these pictures in like 7 or 8 years. These pictures are old. They were using my hair and my body to take form. They were using my yolk. And it's so weird because you can actually see this. And that's what some people say this picture is. This is probably black, real ectoplasm, okay? And I know those mediums have fake pictures. These pictures probably are fake, okay? This does look fake. This is a fake version. This is a real version. This is ectoplasm coming off of somebody or going into her. It depends on how you look at it. And like this is probably fake. This does look fake, okay? This looks like she just got some cloth or something, right? This is a fake version of a spirit coming out of someone's head or hair. This is a real version of a spirit coming out of someone's head or hair. Do you get what I'm saying? Just because these are fake doesn't mean there's not a real version too. Okay? Ectoplasm is real. It's in the Bible. It doesn't say ectoplasm, but it will use yoke talk because that's exactly what this stuff is. It binds things together, okay? And it makes wicked things like I just showed you. All right? It's in the Bible. But you just have to read it and use a good perspective, all right? And you might wonder, have I ever seen it be black before? I have seen it be black before, okay? But it was only for like a split second because it would move very, very fast. It was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. And it's so weird because I eventually came to Christ, and this is so important. When these things left my body, like permanently left my body, I literally felt cords being snapped and cut. Like, it was like snapping sounds, like something was literally cutting these things off of my body. And I know that sounds crazy, but I am just telling you the truth, okay? God literally cut these things off of my body. Like they were actually attached to me, all right? All right. I have a few more pictures, but they don't really have anything to do with ectoplasm. I'll probably make another short video about some extra pictures I have. If you just look at them, they look normal, but I'll explain to you what was happening in the pictures, okay? I'll probably make another video about that. I'll just get it over with because I had these pictures on my phone for a long time and I was really freaked out just to even look at them because I don't like thinking about that part of my life. It was terrifying, horrible. Anyway, so please think about this stuff, guys, and thank you.